All right, we're looking at linear graphs. This is 1.4 in the standards, but basically these skills can be used in 1.2 as well, and they're useful standards. Even some of you will have learnt them in year 10. So I'm going to go through first of all in this video how to deal with graphing. So to start off with, remember that we have an x and y axis, and our labels for mathematical graphs, they need to be nice and even, and it doesn't matter if one of the axes has a different step to it. So let's have a look. So you can see that I've made these ones 1 and these ones 5. That's absolutely okay, as long as these ones always remain in gaps of 5 and these ones always remain in gaps of 2. So first of all, plotting coordinates. We always put them x, y, our coordinates, so we always go along our x-axis and then our y-axis. Now in this particular standard, this might change to be something like time, and this one might change to be something like money, or people, or something like that. So we just have to be aware of the fact that the axes could actually change, but we can use x and y as long as we say that x is for time and y is for people or whatever. So when we've got an example, say 3, 2, that means go along 3 and up 2, right? That's our coordinate. Along 3 first and up 2. Now this is very confusing in this particular standard because we change from longs and ups for coordinates into gradients. So our next step is to look at gradients. And for a gradient, we use many different things. We call it M, and it can be rise over run, or it could be change. Oh, no, I don't like change. I call it up, down, down being the negative, over right. So it just depends on what you've learned and who from, but it's that sort of idea. We go up and then across. So we always say we walk up the diving ladder and then across to dive off. We can't walk across and then up the diving ladder, we'd be in the wash and start. Whereas for this one, we go alphabetically for our coordinates. So they're two completely different things. So our equation for our graph may look like this. Y equals mx plus c. This is the gradient, and we want the gradient to be written as a fraction. So if it's a whole number, let's say it was -3, we would just put a 1 underneath. But if it's already a fraction, we don't need to worry about that part. If it's a mixed number, so let's say it was 1.5, we need to change that into 3 over 2. All right, so we learnt that back in year 9. This one is our Y-intercept. So it says where on the y-axis we start. Now remember that the y-axis is the vertical one, so up and down. Okay, so let's have a look at an example here. If we've got y equals 1/2 x minus 2. All right, that says start at -2 on the y-axis. So -1, -2. Start here. From here, we move 1 up and 2 across. So from here, 1 up, 2 across, 1 up, 2 across. That's actually going to be 4. And then we get our ruler. It's really important that you use a ruler in this standard. And we rule a line. Looking at another one, let's do it in blue. We've got y equals -3x minus 1. All right, that says start at -1. So that's here. This says go down 3 and across 1. 1, 2, 3 across 1. 1, 2, 3 and over 1. So try and get 3 points so that you can actually rule your line beautifully. There are two special sorts of lines that can come at us, and they're our horizontal and our vertical line. And we read them as where does it go through the x-axis or where does it go through the y-axis. So if it's written a vertical line, it will go through x at k. All right, so if we've got x equals 3, that means the vertical line, all of the coordinates on that vertical line have an x part that is 3, and the y changes. All right, so if we have a y1, it says all of the y's will be -4. So we go to -4 and we draw our line. On that line, all our y values will be -4. So go and practice some work on graphing. That's our first thing we need to actually do.